Business book summaries.
In today's fast-paced world, it often seems like there just aren't enough hours in the day to do everything we truly want to do. But if we take a step back and honestly assess the situation, we'll realize that the problem isn't only the hectic nature of modern life, it's also how we manage ourselves. Today, we will delve into the book Make Time by Knapp and Zeratsky. We have a tendency to fill our schedules to the brim, making ourselves busier than necessary. Then, when we finally take a break, we often end up spending our precious free time on social media, watching TV, or checking emails. To reclaim our time and focus on the hobbies and projects we've been neglecting, the answer seems straightforward. Stop overloading ourselves with unnecessary tasks and steer clear of the distractions that eat away at our days. However, putting this into practice is easier said than done. To truly make a change, we need to understand why we get so caught up in busyness and distractions. Then, we must develop and implement a strategy to counteract these tendencies. This strategy will require practical steps. Throughout these chapters, we'll explore the reasons behind our constant busyness and distraction, discuss why simply trying to be more productive or relying on willpower isn't enough, and learn how to develop a four-step strategy to take back control of our time. To put this strategy into action, we'll examine 20 out of the author's 87 time-saving tactics. These tactics will help you tailor a personalized plan to reclaim your life. Chapter 1 delves into why we lose our time to busyness and distractions. Why does it always seem like there's never enough time for the things we love? The straightforward answer might be that there's just too much to do, everyday endless emails, countless meetings, and a never-ending stream of social media updates. But that's only part of the story. The truth is, we often bring this time crunch upon ourselves. There are two main reasons for this. First, there's the busy bandwagon. This is a modern mindset that pushes us to fill every moment of our day with work, leading to overflowing inboxes, packed calendars, and endless to-do lists. We're constantly driven to be productive, which often results in us taking on more than we can handle. The second reason is the emergence of infinity pools. These are the ever-present digital distractions like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Netflix, and news websites. They're always just a tap or click away, offering an endless stream of content, whether it's information, entertainment, or a mix of both. These infinity pools are notorious time sinks. On average, we spend about 4 hours a day watching TV and another 4 hours on our smartphones. That's as much time as a full-time job. When you combine the time spent in these digital distractions with our actual jobs, which are already demanding due to the busy bandwagon, it's no wonder we feel like there's no time left. What's worse, the busy bandwagon and infinity pools often work together, creating a powerful duo that constantly drains our time. Weary from the busy bandwagon, we easily fall into the infinity pools, passively consuming their content without realizing how much time we're losing. The cycle we find ourselves in is one of endless tasks and constant distractions, with us ping-ponging between the two, day in and day out. So, how do we break free from this relentless loop? That's precisely what the upcoming chapters aim to address. We'll start by exploring what strategies don't work, and then delve into effective approaches. In Chapter 2, we'll see that focusing solely on productivity often just leads to more busyness. As we navigate the fast-paced road of modern life, we often encounter a parade of experts promoting various organizational systems. Each one claims to offer a more productive way to tackle our workload. The logic behind these systems is straightforward. If a certain amount of work, let's call it XA, fills up all your time, then doing X more quickly should, in theory, free up some of that time. However, the flaw in this logic is that X is not a fixed amount. It's a variable. In today's world, which constantly demands more from us, as soon as you complete one task, another takes its place. Clear your inbox, and a new email arrives. Address one request, and a colleague makes another. You might race through your to-do list, hoping to reach the end, but as soon as you tick off the last item, another appears. The more you accomplish, the more tasks seem to arise. It's akin to running on a hamster wheel while chasing a carrot, no matter how fast you go. The goal always remains just out of reach, and the wheel only spins faster. This increased productivity leads to more busyness. It also perpetuates the very mindset that got us stuck on the busy bandwagon in the first place. By focusing intensely on clearing our to-do lists as quickly as possible, we're reinforcing the idea that being perpetually busy is the norm. We become trapped in a cycle where our efficiency simply creates more work, rather than providing us with the extra time we crave.
Before we delve further, remember that we regularly share new content. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Business Book Summaries and hit the notification bell for the latest updates.
In the following chapters, we'll explore how to step off this hamster wheel. We'll look at strategies that go beyond mere productivity hacks, addressing the root causes of our perpetual busyness. By understanding and tackling these underlying issues, we can start to create a more balanced and fulfilling approach to work and life. By relentlessly pursuing an unachievable level of productivity, you're not only setting yourself up for disappointment, but also elevating busyness to an undeserved status, while simultaneously neglecting your own needs and desires. Consider the origins of the tasks on your to-do list. Are they activities you would willingly choose if you had complete freedom? In many cases, the answer is no. These tasks are often imposed by others, reflecting their priorities, not yours. By placing these external demands at the top of your list, you inadvertently devalue your own goals and aspirations. This leads to a cycle where your personal passions and projects are perpetually postponed, a someday that never arrives. Caught in this relentless pursuit of productivity, you make little progress toward what truly matters to you, leaving you vulnerable to the lure of digital distractions, which we will explore in the next chapter. Chapter 3 delves into the notion that willpower alone is insufficient to keep us from falling into infinity pools of distraction, such as Facebook or Twitter. One might think that simply choosing not to engage with these platforms, using sheer willpower to say no, would be enough. However, this approach is overly optimistic. Infinity pools are meticulously engineered to break down our resistance and draw us into their endless streams of content. The creators of these platforms have a strong financial incentive to capture our attention. The more time we spend on their apps, the more profit they generate. Teams of skilled and well-intentioned tech professionals use sophisticated data analysis techniques to determine what holds our attention. Since apps can be updated and relaunched much more rapidly than physical products like cars, these teams can rapidly iterate their designs until they find the most captivating version. While it's easy to feel frustrated with these tech workers or the executives driving these initiatives, it's important to remember that they are often motivated by a genuine passion for technology and the pressures of a highly competitive industry. They are, in a sense, just doing their jobs. Instead, it might be more accurate to attribute our susceptibility to these distractions to our evolutionary history. Our brains are wired to respond to certain stimuli that were beneficial in prehistoric times. Being easily distractible helped our ancestors stay alert to environmental changes, like rustling bushes that could signal danger. Our fascination with stories, gossip, and social status was advantageous for living in close-knit tribal communities, where such information was crucial for learning, staying informed, and understanding social hierarchies. Furthermore, our ancestors' survival often depended on unpredictable rewards. Hunting mastodons or gathering berries didn't always yield immediate results, so our brains evolved to be motivated by the uncertainty of success. This trait encouraged continuous searching, even when success was not guaranteed. While these traits were beneficial in the past, today they make us vulnerable to modern distractions like smartphone notifications, clickbait headlines, social media gossip, and the unpredictable rewards of scrolling through endless social media feeds. The combination of these expertly designed digital environments and our evolutionarily hardwired brains creates a challenge too formidable to overcome with willpower alone. To effectively combat busyness and distractions, we need a set of strategies and tactics, which we will explore in the next chapter. Chapter 4 focuses on how to alter the default settings of your behavior. since relying solely on willpower is insufficient to resist the allure of infinity pools, and since increased productivity only strengthens the busy bandwagon, we must find a way to break free from their grip. The key to defeating these modern-day challenges is akin to defeating a supervillain. Identify the source of their power and neutralize it. In our case, this source is reactivity. Both the busy bandwagon and infinity pools feed off our tendency to react mindlessly to external triggers. For instance, when a colleague sends an email, we feel an immediate need to reply. When our phone buzzes with a notification, we instinctively reach for it. These reactions have become so ingrained that we often don't even realize we're doing them. Riding the busy bandwagon and drowning in infinity pools have become our automatic responses to professional demands and digital technologies. Imagine your mind as a computer and your behaviors as its programming. In this analogy, our mindlessly reactive behaviors are the default settings. At the start of each day, we're already programmed to respond to the stimuli of demands and technology, much like how a phone, when first turned on, has preset notifications, a default background, and a specific ringtone. Just as you can reconfigure a phone's settings, the upcoming chapters will guide you on how to reprogram your behavioral defaults. This reprogramming is crucial to stop the automatic reactions that lead us into the traps of the busy bandwagon and infinity pools. You might be wondering, what's the end goal of all this? If the problem is our mindless reactivity, then the solution is its opposite, mindful proactivity. We'll begin exploring what this means and how to develop it in the next chapter. To change your default settings, you need both tactics and a strategy to create barriers between you and the things that waste your time. In Homer's Odyssey, Odysseus faces his version of infinity pools, the sirens. Their enchanting voices lure sailors to their doom. Aware of his limitations and knowing he couldn't resist the sirens through willpower alone, Odysseus implements a proactive solution. He ties himself to the mast of his ship and has his sailors plug their ears with beeswax, thus preventing them from reacting to the siren's song. This is the essence of mindful proactivity, thinking and acting like Odysseus. The busy bandwagon and infinity pools can be as tempting as the sirens, but like Odysseus, we can create barriers to prevent their songs from drawing us in or even reaching us. There are simple yet effective tactics you can use to establish these barriers. For example, to resist the urge to endlessly scroll through Facebook, you might set up a website blocker. At this point, you may be eager to learn these tactics, but patience is key. It's important to understand that tactics alone are not sufficient. Without a deeper understanding and a strategic approach, a list of tips and tricks won't lead to lasting change. To effectively navigate the challenges of modern life, you need more than just a collection of tactics. You require a strategy to guide their application. This is particularly true because there isn't a universal set of tactics that works for everyone. Each person is unique, and you need a set of tactics tailored to the nuances of your individual personality. The upcoming strategy will help you discover the tactics that are most effective for you. In its essence, the strategy is straightforward and can be divided into 4 key steps: highlight, focus, energize, and reflect. As we delve into the following chapters, we'll explore each of these steps in detail. By the end, you'll be equipped to identify the tactics that enable you to resist the modern-day sirens that tempt you into squandering your time. Chapter 5 emphasizes focusing on the present by selecting an activity or project that will stand out as the highlight of your day. As we've seen, merely increasing productivity doesn't solve the issue of being overly busy. In fact, since your to-do list is essentially endless, striving for greater productivity can exacerbate the issue by feeding into the busy bandwagon. You won't create time for what you truly want to do by piling up more short-term tasks. Nor does it work to try to accomplish as much as possible or to obsessively manage your schedule for maximum efficiency. Instead, you end up making yourself busier, causing your days to blur together, leaving you too drained by the end of your work and daily chores to, say, write that novel you've always dreamed of or spend quality time with your family. If focusing solely on short-term tasks isn't the answer, then perhaps the key lies in long-term goals. However, These can be too abstract, too distant, and too focused on the future. This isn't to say that to-do lists, schedules, tasks, and goals aren't valuable. Long-term goals give direction to your life's journey, while to-do lists, schedules, and short-term goals help you track your progress and accomplish necessary tasks. They are important but insufficient for reclaiming your time. There's a sweet spot between your short-term and long-term goals, a goal that you can focus on today, which also serves as a guiding star in your life's journey. This is your daily highlight, a significant activity or project that will leave you feeling satisfied at the end of the day. You might have been asked before, what was the highlight of your day? Instead of waiting until the day's end to determine the answer, decide in advance. Reframe the question, what do I want the highlight of my day to be? Of course, posing this question is easier than answering it. In the next chapter, we'll explore methods to help you find your answer. Chapter 7 suggests choosing a highlight that is important, satisfying, or joyful and can be achieved in 60 to 90 minutes. Like the flavors of Neapolitan ice cream, highlights come in 3 basic types: important, meaningful, and joyful, each requiring a different approach. For the first approach, ask yourself, what is my most urgent, absolutely necessary activity or project today? To identify these highlights, examine your to-do list. Email inbox or calendar. Perhaps there's a client waiting on a proposal from you today, or maybe your daughter needs assistance with her Halloween costume. These are examples of important highlights tasks that are urgent and cannot be postponed. For the second approach, focus on meaningful highlights. These are activities or projects that may not be urgent but are significant to you personally or professionally. Ask yourself, what task, if completed today, would give me a sense of accomplishment or progress towards a larger goal? This could be working on a section of your book, planning a future business strategy, or even dedicating time to a personal hobby that brings you fulfillment. The third approach revolves around joyful highlights. These are activities that bring happiness or relaxation. Consider, what would make today especially enjoyable or relaxing for me? It could be something as simple as reading a chapter of a novel, taking a long walk in nature, or having lunch with a friend. Joyful highlights are crucial because they ensure that your day includes moments of pleasure and relaxation, balancing the demands of work and life. By identifying and focusing on these 3 types of highlights, important, meaningful, and joyful, you can create a more balanced and satisfying day. This approach helps you prioritize tasks that are not just urgent, but also contribute to your long-term happiness and fulfillment. It's about finding harmony between what needs to be done and what you wish to do, ensuring that each day includes moments that are both productive and personally rewarding. In the chapters that follow, we'll delve deeper into how to effectively integrate these highlights into your daily routine. We'll explore strategies to ensure that your chosen highlight isn't overshadowed by the busy bandwagon or drowned out by the infinity pools of distraction. By learning to set and achieve these daily highlights, you'll be taking a significant step towards reclaiming your time and living a life that's more aligned with your true priorities and passions. Tonight, consider this. If you have a brief task like filling out a form that needs to be done today, by all means, complete it. However, don't designate it as your highlight. Ideally, a highlight should be an activity that takes around 60 to 90 minutes. Activities shorter than this don't allow you enough time to fully immerse yourself or get in the zone, while those significantly longer may stretch your ability to maintain focused attention. For the second approach, ask yourself, what will make me feel most satisfied at the end of the day? This is about what you want to do, not what you need to do. The best candidates for this type of highlight are projects you've been eager to start but keep postponing because they aren't immediately pressing. The most satisfying highlights often involve using a skill you enjoy or achieving something personally significant. For instance, maybe there's a creative project at work you've been excited to initiate, or perhaps you've been wanting to research destinations for a long-awaited vacation. The third approach is to consider what will bring you the most joy. The goal of becoming less reactively mindless and more proactively mindful isn't about creating a rigidly structured day focused solely on goals. It's about living a fuller, more joyful life. Sometimes this means doing something purely for the pleasure it brings, whether that's learning a new song on the guitar, diving into a good book, or any activity that brings you happiness. Allow yourself the freedom to indulge in these joys. So, these are the three types of highlights and their approaches. Each day, trust your instincts and choose the one that feels right for you. In Chapter 8, we'll explore tactics to help you select your highlights. If you're still finding it challenging to choose, don't worry. We'll introduce some tactics that might help. But first, a word of advice: don't attempt all these tactics at once. That can be overwhelming and counterproductive. Instead, try a few, see which ones resonate with you, and discard the rest. Now, let's delve into our first set of tactics. Some are straightforward and won't need much explanation, while others we'll explore in more detail. One tactic for identifying your highlight is to write down a list of your priorities and rank them. This helps remind you of what's most important and can guide your daily focus. If you're torn between two potential highlights, use your ranked list to help make the decision. Another tactic is to repeat a highlight from the previous day, especially if you didn't get to it, didn't finish it, want to continue developing a skill or habit, or simply enjoyed it so much that you want to experience it again. This approach can help establish consistency and build momentum in areas that are important to you. A third tactic involves consolidating several small, nagging tasks into one larger composite task. This has a dual benefit. Firstly, it provides the satisfaction of catching up on tasks that have been looming over you. Secondly, by addressing these non-urgent tasks in a consolidated manner, you prevent them from constantly competing for your attention, thereby slowing down the busy bandwagon. Another strategy is to look at your to-do list and select the task that matters most to you personally. This approach ensures that your daily highlight aligns with your values and priorities, making it more meaningful and fulfilling. Finally, if your highlight is a larger project, break it down into smaller, manageable steps. You can then string these steps together over multiple days, creating a multi-day highlight. This method allows you to make consistent progress on significant projects without feeling overwhelmed. Remember, the key is to find a balance that works for you. These tactics are not rigid rules, but flexible tools designed to help you navigate your day with more intention and satisfaction. By experimenting with these strategies and adapting them to your personal needs and preferences, you can create a daily routine that not only keeps you productive, but also brings joy and fulfillment to your life. By the end of employing these tactics, you'll likely have identified a highlight for your day. The next step, which is the focus of Chapter 9, is to actually make time for your highlight. It's one thing to set a goal that's just right, not too small, not too large, and declare, "This is my highlight for today." It's quite another to carve out the time and get around to doing it. To ensure you make time for your highlight, here are some practical tactics. First, estimate how long your highlight will take and schedule it into your day. You could even take it a step further by reserving a regular time slot in your daily schedule specifically for working on your highlight. Or, for a more structured approach, break down your day into a detailed schedule, possibly in half-hour increments. Include even the simplest activities, like drinking coffee, to maximize your day's potential. Just make sure your highlight is prominently included, not just your routine tasks. Another tactic is to rearrange or even reduce your commitments to free up space in your schedule. By shifting some meetings or appointments, you might be surprised at how much time you can reclaim. Additionally, consider transforming yourself into either a morning person or a more effective night owl. This doesn't mean aimlessly browsing Facebook or YouTube late into the night. Instead, it means dedicating the early morning or late evening hours to your highlight. Becoming a morning person can be facilitated by mimicking the sleep patterns of our ancestors. Dim the lights in your home a couple of hours before bedtime, switch your devices to night mode, and avoid screens in the bedroom. Ensure you go to bed early enough to get sufficient sleep before waking up early. To help with waking up, consider using a dawn simulator, a device that gradually fills your room with light, simulating a natural sunrise. For those who are more productive at night, Try setting aside time for your highlight in the late evening or early night. Before this time arrives, engage in an activity that rejuvenates you. When it's time for your highlight, log off social media to maintain focus. How exactly can you recharge, stay offline, and keep focused? We'll explore these questions in the next chapter. Chapter 10 delves into tactics for avoiding distractions and staying focused on your highlights. One effective method is to delete infinity pool apps like Twitter and Facebook from your cell phone. You'll still have access to essential apps like maps and music. For more drastic measures, consider deleting your phone's email app. While this might seem extreme, reflect on how often you actually compose emails on your phone's small, inconvenient keyboard. Chances are, it's not very often. The email app often serves more as a source of constant, anxiety-inducing notifications than as a useful tool. Removing it can significantly reduce distractions. Alternatively, you can install software and website blockers on your computer to limit your time on social media or email. These tools can help you stay focused on your highlight by preventing you from falling into the trap of endless scrolling or compulsive email checking. By implementing these tactics, you can create a more structured, distraction-free environment that allows you to fully engage with and enjoy your daily highlight. To further enhance your ability to focus and avoid distractions, consider a more moderate approach. Log out of your social media accounts. This simple action means that every time you feel the urge to check your accounts, you'll have to go through the process of logging in. This extra step adds a small but significant barrier, discouraging unnecessary social media use and giving you a moment to consider if this is truly how you want to spend your time. Additionally, instead of keeping up with the news constantly, try limiting your news consumption to once a week. While this might make you feel a bit disconnected, it's worth considering how much of the daily news is immediately relevant to your life and decisions. Most news can wait a week, and truly urgent stories will likely reach you through other means, such as conversations with colleagues or emergency alerts. Another tactic is to handle curiosity differently. When a random question pops into your head, like the name of an actress in a TV show, resist the urge to immediately Google it. Instead, jot it down on a piece of paper and save it for a later time. This approach prevents you from falling into a Google rabbit hole of endless searches, while still allowing you to satisfy your curiosity later. Hopefully, these tactics will aid in minimizing distractions. However, even the best tactics won't be very effective if you're too fatigued to use the time they free up. The next chapter addresses ways to keep yourself energized. Chapter 11 focuses on taking care of your body to keep your mind energized. In today's world, there's a tendency to treat the mind as if it were separate from the body, as if the body's sole purpose were to transport the mind. Yet, our daily experiences, like feeling mentally sluggish after a heavy meal or clear-minded after exercise, demonstrate the interconnectedness of mind and body. To maintain an energized mind, it's crucial to take care of your body. Amidst the plethora of conflicting health advice, our ancestors' lifestyles provide key insights into maintaining health. A varied and moderate diet, a sleep schedule aligned with natural light, abundant social interaction, and consistent, low-intensity movement interspersed with occasional intense physical activity. For the majority of human history, up until the agricultural revolution about 12,000 years ago, humans lived this way. Our bodies are still adapted to this lifestyle, but modern living often contradicts these needs, leading us to sedentary habits, screen time, processed foods, and disrupted sleep. This mismatch between our physical needs and our lifestyles has significant consequences, not only for our health, but also for our ability to focus and use our time effectively. When we're low on energy, we're more prone to distractions, whereas we feel capable of tackling almost anything when we're energized. The key to taking care of your body is to embrace the principles of our ancestors' way of life while enjoying the advantages of modern living. This means finding ways to incorporate natural movement, healthy eating, sufficient sleep, and social interaction into our daily routines, thus aligning our lifestyles more closely with our physical needs. By doing so, we can enhance our overall well-being and increase our capacity to focus and make the most of our time. This approach isn't about embracing an extreme paleo diet or anything radical. It's about aligning your evolutionarily shaped needs with your modern, societally influenced lifestyle. The upcoming chapter introduces tactics to help you achieve this balance. Chapter 12 will guide you through practical tactics to energize both your mind and body, drawing inspiration from the key elements of our prehistoric ancestors' lifestyles. These tactics fall into four main categories: exercise, diet, social connection, and sleep. We'll explore one or two tactics for each category. For exercise, remember that you don't need to engage in extreme activities like triathlons. Just 20 minutes of moderate daily exercise, such as jogging or swimming, can significantly boost cognitive abilities, mood, and overall health. And if time is scarce, high-intensity interval training, HIIT, for as little as 7 minutes can be more beneficial than an hour of gentle exercise. In just 5 to 10 minutes, a combination of sprints, push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and weightlifting can provide a surprisingly revitalizing workout. Regarding diet, the key is to eat real, unprocessed foods in moderation, similar to our ancestors. This includes plants, nuts, fish, and meat. A simple trick to manage portion sizes is to start by placing a salad in the middle of your plate, then adding the rest of your meal around it. This method fills your plate predominantly with greens. Also, to avoid caffeine crashes, which can drastically sap energy levels, try recaffeinating about 30 minutes before you typically experience a post-lunch crash. This preemptive approach helps maintain energy levels by reinforcing the caffeine in your system before adenosine, a molecule that induces drowsiness, takes over. For sleep, resist the urge to catch up on it, as this disrupts your internal clock and sleep schedule. Maintain a consistent wake-up time every day, including weekends. Consistency is key to regulating your sleep patterns and ensuring restful, rejuvenating sleep. In terms of social connection, remember that, like our ancestors who thrived in small, close-knit communities, we have an inherent need for social interaction. In today's world, our tribe consists of friends, colleagues, and extended family. Spending time with these people can fulfill our need for connection. Some individuals, in particular, have a knack for uplifting our spirits. Prioritize spending time with them. Even better, combine this socializing with a healthy meal and make it a point to keep phones away. This way, you accomplish multiple goals at once: nurturing relationships, eating healthily, avoiding digital distractions, and stepping away from the busy bandwagon. Chapter 13 encourages you to reflect on the results of trying out these tactics. Throughout these chapters, we've presented you with 20 tactics for implementing the first 3 steps of the Make Time strategy: highlight, focus, and energize. With such a variety of tactics, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, even if you follow the advice of trying out just one new tactic at a time. To manage this feeling, consider thinking of these tactics as recipes in a cookbook, and the first 3 steps of the strategy as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Each day, try out just one recipe per meal at most. This approach simplifies the process and prevents you from feeling like you're missing out on other tactics. It allows you to focus on one tactic at a time, giving you the space to fully experience and evaluate its effectiveness. By treating each tactic as a recipe to be savored and experimented with, you can gradually integrate these practices into your life in a way that feels natural and sustainable. This methodical approach will enable you to slowly but surely align your lifestyle more closely with your evolutionary needs, leading to a more energized, focused, and fulfilling life. Just as you wouldn't feel compelled to cook every recipe in a cookbook, you shouldn't feel obligated to try every tactic presented here. The purpose of a cookbook is to offer a variety of options for different tastes and occasions. You pick the recipes that appeal to you, experiment with them, taste the results, and then decide what works best for your palate. Similarly, the tactics in these chapters are meant to provide you with options to explore. The goal is to find out which ones resonate with your lifestyle and needs. Test them, observe the outcomes, and then analyze what worked, what didn't, and how you can adapt them to better suit your needs. To effectively do this, take a few moments each day to reflect on your experiences. Note down your daily highlight, whether you manage to make time for it, which tactics you employed, and the effectiveness of these tactics. Consider what adjustments might improve your experience and decide which tactics you'll try the next day. This process is the final step in the make time strategy. Additionally, to monitor your progress, you can rate your focus and energy levels on a scale from 1 to 10. This helps in quantifying your day-to-day changes and understanding your patterns over time. To infuse a sense of positivity into this endeavor, make a habit of writing down something you're grateful for each day. This practice can help you stay attuned to the positive changes and developments in your life. If you follow this approach diligently, the benefits can be significant. You'll likely find more time, energy, and focus for the activities, projects, and people that truly matter to you. This newfound freedom can lead to the rediscovery of old passions or the discovery of new ones. You might find renewed enthusiasm in your career, or one of your hobbies or projects could evolve into a new vocation. This is precisely what happened to the authors of these tactics. One left Google to become a writer, and the other left YouTube to pursue sailing. Your journey, too, can take an exciting turn. The only way to discover where this journey will lead you is to start. In summary, the main reasons we often feel strapped for time are the busy bandwagon and infinity pools, the societal push for constant busyness, and the digital distractions that consume our attention. Overcoming these time wasters requires more than just productivity hacks and willpower. It demands a mindful, proactive approach. To embark on this journey, begin by implementing the 4-step strategy. Choose a daily highlight, focus on it, energize yourself, and reflect on the results. As actionable advice, start today. Review the tactics in these chapters, select one for each of the first 3 steps, and begin focusing on your highlight and energizing yourself. Thanks for engaging with these ideas, and here's to your journey towards a more focused, energized, and fulfilling life.
We're keen to hear your thoughts on our content. Feel free to share your opinions or recommend books in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Business Book Summaries and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest summaries. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.